I was gonna do a, excuse me, when we get the axles back from Tom, we should be able, we'll then be able to do everything on one shot because we got the bigger brake lines run already. So we're already like a step ahead here with putting the drum brakes on when we get the stuff back. I already have the kit with the new brake shoes, the drums and hardware and all that. So that's in a box waiting to go. So once I get the axles back from Tom with the backing plates on, we put the axles in, we bolt the axles with the backing plates to the housing. Then it's just a matter of putting the drum brakes actually on, hooking up the brake lines, and then bleeding the air out. So yay, we're making progress. So I know it's this stuff, just it takes a while, but it's a lot of figuring, a lot of thinking what fittings I need. I still have to do risk assessment on the front. As you can see, there's some spots that are still close, whatever needs to be bent or moved yet, so that way I'm not rubbing steering, I'm not near heat, I'm not rubbing suspension, and no leaks. So I have that to do. The other project, well, actually we got a project done yesterday. It's not a huge deal, but it was to me. When I put the new drag link on my F-250, kind of in a hurry, so you know when you're driving down the road, you want your steering wheel straight. Mine was like this, okay? I had to steer to the left to go straight. First, it didn't bother me, been bothering me a lot lately. I guess my OCD's kicking up, whatever you want to call it. And so what I did yesterday was I did and adjusted the toe. I don't know if, are we gonna see it? Probably have the wheel turned, but yeah, have it a little turned, but you can see it, it is a lot straighter. We have the tire, looks pretty decent. So that was yesterday's project. Now, believe it or not, the thing that really kicked my ass, it took me 2 days to do this, and it's stupid, but that's only because like found some issues with it, was I reskinned the trailer door. Okay, now it doesn't look like a big deal, but what was on here, there was a hole here and it was just looked bad and stuff. And it's a good thing I did reskin it, because down here behind here there was rot, so I had to take that out. I had to fix the frame underneath the door. And then the other issue, I used 3/8 plywood instead of the factory uses 1/4-inch Luan, which is basically nothing more than glamorized poster board. So now I guess you can see it better on this shot. You can see it's, I don't care that it's not even. What's nice is the door is more sturdy. And what I want to do, I don't know, I'm hoping I can get it painted, but I don't know if I will. I did, however, as you can see, I did run my belt sander over it, smoothed it out a little bit. So the biggest problem was the hardware, because the hardware that came with the trailer was used to that 1/4-inch Luan. Well, now I want the 3/8. So basically what I had to do was all the hardware had to get replaced. So all these, I replaced it with carriage bolts, the right size carriage bolts here and on the hinges, because I took the door off the hinges, so the trailer was over. I had to get it done. So then I got longer ones, obviously, and then I just used washers with a nut with some Loctite, and then all I did was I cut them off with the cutting wheels to make sure that they were at the right length, so that way you're not catching your shirt, jacket, whatever on that. So that was a 2-day project. But I mean, the door closes well, it works well. So that's that. They want rain tomorrow here. We're at my location. However, I did bite the bullet, and I didn't even realize this is my own screw up. Not realizing it, I guess, until Tuesday. The Camaro, I mean, there's hardly anything really stock on it anymore. But my dumb ass Didn't realize till Tuesday that I've never done anything to the front suspension. I'm stock springs, stock shocks, stock brakes, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, well, if I really want to get good traction, as anybody who knows anything with suspension or chassis work, I mean, especially on a drag car, you want like a 90-10, I think I'm saying it right, 90-10 front shock, because you want the front end of the car to go up. When that nose comes right up, it holds there. Well, that's putting all your weight on your rear tires, which is where you want it. So I broke down, I got myself some, they're not here yet, they should be here tomorrow, but we're going to replace these shocks here with some 90-10s. Now, I didn't get springs yet, but I got the other shocks coming. So with that, it should help with the front end rising and getting me the weight transfer that I'm looking for so that's what's going on with that. And so I want to say hi to people. I see Tina Nicholson. I'm sorry, I forgot my glasses again. I'm a moron when it comes to these lives. It's only like maybe the 4th or 5th one I've done, so I'm messing up. But Tina, say hi right back at you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And there also is a yes. Okay, is that Klaus? Has a cheese thing. I can't read. Yes. Do have to stiffen it. You're absolutely right. I'm looking into that. I want to yeah, I was thinking the same thing, to be careful on its suspension. I was kind of looking at it myself. It looks like that spring, like it's not. What I'm gonna have to do is put a hydraulic jack or a bottle jack underneath the lower control arm and have pressure pushing up on the lower control arm while I unbolt the top bolts on that shock. What I'm thinking is, that when I unbolt that, if I don't have anything under there, all that energy is going to come flying out under the car and come and get me. So I'm thinking what I need to do is have a jack or something under there to hold that in place to absorb that energy. And then when it's unbolted, slowly lower the jack to release that pressure down until the spring is completely neutral. That's what I'm hoping it works out that way. But yeah, I want to talk to a couple other guys who have these cars, see what they do. They probably get them preloaded. All right, cool. Hey, thanks for reaffirming what I'm thinking. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching too. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if I'm like a separate video of me doing that. So that way, if it goes wrong, everybody can see me lose a leg. I don't know. But I'm debating if I'm going to do that. But thank you for that input. So that's kind of the plan I think I'm going to stick with, is using a hydraulic jack underneath the lower control arm, unbolting the 3 bolts into the, I guess, shock tower, for lack of a better term, and then just lower that down with the jack to relieve all that spring tension that's on there. And yeah, hang on. So that's where we're at with that. I'm hoping that Ed Steinmetz checking in. Hey, thanks Justin and you guys for checking in. Appreciate yous. I'm just babbling on about the drag car. I just got done running the brake lines. And guys, I'm going to try and see if I can make May 10th down at Maple Grove. Again, it depends how soon Tom Goldman gets me my axles back. It's a bit of a deal, so we're waiting to see what's going to happen with that. He said a couple days with the machine work he has to do to make it work. I totally get it. And so I'm waiting to see on that. I guess what had happened is it is a aftermarket rear. It's a US Strange 12-bolt rear I have in the Camaro. I put this in let's see, I crashed the car in '03, so I think we rebuilt it '04 and '05. We rebuilt it. We put this 12-bolt strange rear in it, and it has a Ford retainer. Like, the axles are retained by 4 bolts. They're retained inside the actual deal with 4 bolts, but it's a Ford pattern because Ford just is known for making a stronger, better rear than GM or anybody else, as far as my knowledge. So the problem is we want to put GM brakes on this thing. So what ends up happening is the backing plates that I got that work with this rear that they used to do when we used to build these for stock Eliminator. The problem is to make it all work with the GM backing plate with the Ford retainer, you have to kind of hog out the holes on the backing plate. Now the problem is going to be when you hit the brakes, any plate, that thing's going to rotate from centrifugal force. So what Tom's doing is taking those disc brake mounts that bolt up, he's going to cut them down and machine them so that it's just a square left. He's cutting the ears off, but then what he's going to do is he's going to hone out the center, make it hub-centric, if you will. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to sandwich the backing plate between the axle that used to be the disc brake mount, because that's just going to be a plain retainer. So he's going to machine it that everything fits inside and is hub-centric, and then still use the mount or the original bolt location that Strange originally machined into the rear, so that way when you hit the brakes, everything stays solid and everything works the way it should. So custom. Yes. We're going to do a lot of, there's 7 years. I have this Camaro. I've been racing it for, oh crap. I think, let's see, we blew up the transmission in 2001. And then we had the transmission redone. And then it was more of a drag car occasionally on the road. When I had my accident in '03 at Island Dragway, I mean, the whole bottom of the car got wiped out on that deal. So we rebuilt the whole car, the whole bottom of it. We rebuilt it. It was NHRA stocker legal. So from 2003 until, what are we in 2025? I can't do the math quick, but it's been strictly a race car since 2003. So it's not street legal, can't do any of that stuff. I want to take it anywhere, I got to trailer it, yada, yada, yada. It's cool, but it's a pain in the ass at the same time. So with that being said, it is a lot of fun. Trying to get these gremlins worked out. When the car works, dude, it's like taking a Sunday drive. It's great. It's wonderful. Unfortunately, this brake situation with the disc brakes not holding and the car not stopping has been plaguing me since 2009. So I've just been dealing with it. The problem is, with the torque converter we put in it, we can't use the stall speed because the car will push through the brakes at 3,000 RPM, and I got to be able to hold 4,000 RPM to use the stall speed to really use the horsepower curve that the motor's built for. So that's kind of why we're doing the drum brake thing, so we can hold more RPM on the line. We're looking, according to Tom, we're looking for about 4,000 RPM that we should be able to hold with these drum brakes in the rear with the factory disc in the front. That's what we're looking for. If we could hold 4,000 RPM on the starting line and leave on that, drop the hammer right at the get-go and have a 4,000 RPM stall on that thing, I think we're going to be seeing the time we want to see in ET. So we're waiting to see about that. Again, everything's at a standstill because, like I said, I'm waiting for Tom to get my axles done and to get them back with the way that they should have been done originally. All right, let me look here. Actually, I don't know how much wheel horsepower I have. That's a good question. I had taken the car when I built the 380. It's an LT1. It's a 96 LT1 out of a Roadmaster station wagon because I blew up the original LT1 motor. So this was an LT1 that was in a station wagon. It was a Buick Roadmaster. So I got it for Song and a Dance. So I got the motor home. We stripped it down to the block. We had it bored out 30 over. I bought a kit, a stroker kit, a 383. So basically a 383 is basically a 350 block, bored 30 over with a 400 small block crank. That's your basic 383, and that's how you get it. So then I had the heads. They're factory aluminum heads that I had worked on. They've had multi-angle valve jobs, stainless steel valves. They unshrouded the valves. They CC'd everything. A lot of work. It was like $700 to have the heads done. And I really like to get a set of AFRs, but for me to do that, I'd have to buy the heads, then all the tuning. I'm looking at $5,000 just to go with AFR heads. Although the car would run 10 seconds then, but I'm waiting. I just don't have the cash. But yeah, to answer your question about how much power, I wish I knew. I mean, if I had to, I'm hoping if we can get a clean pass once it's back together, I can figure out about how much horsepower. I'm thinking I'm lucky. Maybe I'm thinking maybe 425, 450. I don't know. I don't want to say for sure because you know how it is. You know, basically, I don't have to be telling people fish stories and saying, "Oh, I got like," you know, you hear people, "I got 700 horsepower." Well, why is your car running 13 seconds then? You know, that's not cool. We're looking for this motor. We're thinking it should go 11.7, 11.8, and that should put me in the neighborhood of 114, 116 mile an hour. That's kind of what I'm thinking that, so we'll see. But we're hoping with these brakes, with the drum brakes in the rear, that they should be able to, I mean, my car is number 6 that Tom built. So the other cars that they did the same way, and they were able to hold 4,000 RPM at the line. And this is an 8-inch torque converter, so it's really aggressive. So it should really freaking hit it hard. The only issue, sorry, the sun's getting in my eyes, guys. I gotta put my glasses on. The only thing that might be a problem is if the slicks are gonna hold it, which I'll have to look at my 60-foot times when we get to the track. I know about what my target 60-foot should be. If we're like, you know, if we're more than 2-3 tenths off for where we should be, we know there's a problem. So we might have to look into a fresh set of rear shoes for it. If it does not 60 foot, but we're gonna wait and see. Like I said, we're gonna check we're gonna try out the brakes. We're trying to get some like detail stuff. Not really horsepower, like big stuff right now. I'm going over, you know, as I have time, since the car's up on jack stands with the wheels off. Taking when I have time, you know, 20 minutes, half hour, I forget how many days now, I just go over everything. Does this need to be tightened? Does that look right? And if it doesn't look right, either bend it, adjust it, you know, fold it up different, fabricate some, whatever I need to do. So really painstakingly trying to go over it, and I'm trying to, you know, get it done. Because as you can see, I don't have a garage. So, I mean, this thing is getting, it's hard to see, but it's getting beat up. And the car cover keeps flying off of it. So, needless, it got bird poop on it. I mean, it's getting trashed out here. And this is actually, when it's cleaned up, you know, I got people asking me all kinds of questions about it, about the year and the paint and how nice it is. You look at it now, it looks terrible. You know, it's terrible looking. But, yes, there's helicopters on it, all kinds of stuff. You know, have the hood, aftermarket hood on it. In fact, you know what? Since I have it unlocked, guys, I'll show you my office. As Dale Earnhardt would say, this is my office. So that's basically the office right now. You know, I got the 8-point roll bar in it with a swing out, some aftermarket seats in it. I have some junk in there from cleaning it up, but Have my tack with the shift light, switches, gauge. I have my Hurst quarter stick. By the way, the transmission is a turbo 350. It's an early model. I believe it was originally out of a 70 Camaro. I think so. Don't mark my words, but it's a 350 custom built by Tom Goldman, which, like I said, it's spun by a 8-inch torque converter. I forget what gears he put in. He put some kind of custom gear set in it, so I'd have to look that up in my notes. I don't even want to say it because I don't even remember, and if I tell you guys, I'd be lying, so I'd have to look that up. But that's what we got. We got our line lock button here. So yeah, so that's basically my office when I'm going down the track. It has, like I said, it has a manual valve body. It's not an automatic. It is a, I guess you could call it a like a clutchless manual, if that makes sense. But yeah, I have to shift every gear. It doesn't shift itself. And it's a reverse pattern, so that way I don't have to worry about when I shut it off at the top end of putting it in neutral and exploding the internals. It's a reverse pattern. So when I'm in high gear, it's like 4 positions away from neutral. So that has that kind of safety deal built into it. But, you know, it's not, and like I said, the motor needs cleaning. You know, it's got junk on it, all kinds of other crap. But, you know, we got new headers on it last year, and we're anxious to see how those work. And we were busting this, so I had a buddy of mine was able to help me out and weld that, and that really helped me out a lot. I think eventually we're going to have to get to the point where we might have to put a March aftermarket pulley system on it, but I want to see how this works. It's harder to get the good LT1 stuff. I bought one, that thing broke like within starting the car up. So the problem is this stuff's getting old. I might have to look into going into an aftermarket serpentine setup for this at some point when, you know, funds and certain things allow. Let me just take a look here at the comments. Paint marks. Yeah, it does. You're right. Yeah, for a pickup truck, yeah, I agree with the paint marks and the dents and stuff, but my truck that you saw earlier in this live, yeah, that has some stuff. But for this particular car, sometimes I get OCD and everything has to be perfect, and that's how I get myself in trouble. So I'm probably the worst person to have a race car because of it. But I'll tell you what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and remember to do this for you guys. So when I get this put back together with the brakes and everything and get it cleaned up, I'm going to do a video with it all cleaned up before I load it up for the trailer, so that way you guys can see how nice of a piece this really is. And I hate to use the word proud of it, because I don't like to use the word pride, because to me, I don't want to sound cocky, but I'm really pleased with it and how well it has worked in the past. I'm really hoping that these few gremlins that we're working out right now go away, because it was a lot of fun racing it back in the day, and I'm trying to get back into it because it's just the car when the car works, it works great, you know. So I'm trying to get back to. I think my biggest problem is me right now with the car. It's just I haven't driven in how long, and it's just I'm older than I was when I used to race. I mean, I think I was in my late 30s when I was racing a lot. I'm 51 now, and you know, I still have the thing. We're still trying to play around, have some fun with it, but we're gonna see if we get this thing together. I'm gonna break out the practice tree, which I might do a live video on the practice tree and how that all works, and how that's a training device to help with training my mind and getting me knocking the rust off, if you will, to get me back to where I need to be driving wise, so that way when I pull up, you know, I can cut a 00 light, you know, or an 0-teen light and be competitive. Not that I'm up there being dead late. So I might do a video on that too, or live, I should say. But so that's kind of what's going on. I'm going to get back to work here because, like I said, I want to check the brake line on here, make sure it clears everything. and what I need to do that. I also got to check some stuff in the trailer yet, because I got to organize some stuff on the trailer. So anyway, guys, I figured I'd give you an update. It's a little late in the week, but I wanted to get something out there for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. And so stay tuned. I guess I have to see what, hopefully soon I can get another live video out for you guys, but it's been hectic here. So anyway, until next time, we'll see. Watch out for each other. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time right here on Big E's. Bye for now, guys.